Yeah, it still smells in there. I don't know why I'm holding this out to you. Like, you guys can smell it through the camera. It smells really nice. It has a... Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, a doctor, lawyer, turned homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 9, 5, and 4. If you're interested in videos about secular homeschooling, practical minimalism, and a little bit of mommyhood in general, you've come to the right place. Today I'll be talking to you about some of my product empties, and I generally do these basically when my little basket gets full. As a physician in a former life, I like to talk to you a little bit about the ingredients and why I think certain ingredients are helpful in skincare, why certain ones I think are just marketed to you because they sound good. And if you're interested in that, definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button down below because I try to keep it as real and scientific as possible when I do these product empties. One of the first things I'll share with you is this little guy. It's a sample of a sleeping mask by the brand ALGENIST. I think I got it from Sephora for one of their little sample picks. And it is called the Absolute Hydration Replenishing Sleeping Pack, the Splash one. And it's got this gel-like consistency. I really liked it. I used every single drop of it. ALGENIST is quite a pricey little brand. It's basically another one of those hydrating, lightweight moisturizers that is based on hyaluronic acid. And I've talked about hyaluronic acid in my previous videos. Basically, it's a molecule, it's a humectant that attracts lots of water molecules to itself. So if you apply it to an already wet face, it helps stop transepidermal water loss. So it helps retain water on that top layer of your skin, which is, as you know, something we want. We want to keep our skin as moist as possible. For a hyaluronic acid cream, it was pretty good, you know, non-irritating. It has a lot of fruit extracts in it, however. It has, I think, watermelon and lentil and apple. They also say you have seawater in it. And they have their algae complex. ALGENIST is based sort of on this proprietary algae complex. I didn't see any miraculous algae fruit extract results. And in fact, I would caution you because if you have sensitive skin, a lot of products with a lot of fruit extracts and essential oils, etc., can really be irritating to the skin over time. So I know a lot of my friends who will use like a very natural product, a natural facial moisturizer for a while and have great results with it because they've eliminated a lot of the toxic irritants in their skincare, but then develop sort of a contact dermatitis to it, like an allergy almost to that build up. Your skin can react to some of these ingredients like essential oils and fruit extracts after a while. So you want to be a little bit cautious when you're using products that are loaded with these fruit extracts and really be observant of what's going on. You definitely want to avoid a lot of the cheaper ingredients in skincare, but by the same token, saying that something is totally natural or has natural ingredients isn't always, you know, the best thing in the world for everyone. This also has a lot of dimethicone in it. Dimethicone is basically something that helps retain water as well. Like it's creating a shield in the same way that Aquaphor or something else does, except on a molecular level. So there's nothing especially wrong with it. This also contains aloe vera in it. It is throwing a whole lot of ingredients at you. Sometimes in skincare, it can feel like the more ingredients you can pack into a cream, hooray. Sometimes that can be a little bit irritating, particularly if you have sensitive skin. So just be aware. This little sample pack size though, I really loved it. I would probably try it again if I had the money to spend on this cream. Personally myself, I'm perfectly happy with my drugstore level hyaluronic acid moisturizers, so I don't really have a need to go after this cream again. But if you want to treat yourself, it's worth looking at. Speaking of drugstore level hyaluronic acid creams, I just finished up this one, the HADA LABO Tokyo Skin Plumping Gel Cream. This is one of my favorite hyaluronic acid gel creams. I generally switch between this one and the Neutrogena Hydro Boost for dry and sensitive skin. Both of them are hyaluronic acid based gel cream. Both of them come with these little protective caps, and I finished them completely. So there's really very little to show you. But see, it is like a very watery gel-like cream. It's the first thing I put on my face after I wash it, both morning and night. And it just kind of locks in the moisture. Again, as with any other hyaluronic acid cream or any moisturizer, you want to apply the moisturizer to a damp face. You don't want to get all the water off your face before you do this because moisturizers don't create moisture in your skin, they lock in what moisture they can find. So you need some moisture on your face to lock in. I really like this one. I like the Neutrogena one. This one I order from Amazon, and the Neutrogena one I generally get from CVS, but they're both about the same price point. I think they're around the $14, $15 mark. Very affordable. One of these usually lasts me about 2 months. So, you know, I definitely recommend it as a first step in your skincare. One of my next empties is actually the next step in my morning routine for skincare, and that is the CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion. Now you might be wondering, so she just said PM in the morning, and I do. I use the PM version because I do not like the AM version with sunscreen from CeraVe anymore. Something happened when CeraVe was acquired by one of these larger brands. I believe it was L'Oreal, I'm not sure. I think they changed the formulation of their sunscreen a little bit, and I don't like it as much. I find that it kind of is harder to rub in, etc. But I still love their PM cream, which has all the ingredients that their AM cream had, minus the SPF. So it has the ceramides, it has the niacinamide, and it also has hyaluronic acid on its own. I really like the consistency of this cream. I generally put it on right after my hyaluronic acid and let it all sink in while I brush my teeth. And then I move on to the next step. Sometimes I use that cream at night as well, but in general I like to use a little bit heavier of a cream, particularly in fall and winter when my skin gets a lot drier. The next step in my morning routine skincare is generally, once this is all dried down, to put sunscreen on. So this is a empty that I believe I've talked about before, and it is the La Roche-Posay TOLURIANE Double Repair Moisturizer UV Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I cannot emphasize enough that SPF is the best thing you can do for your skin. It always shocks me how many of my friends do not use sunscreen, except when they go to the beach or something, and some of them not even then. Because let me tell you that UV rays are always present around us in the daytime, and they are always penetrating on cloudy days, on fall days, on winter days, all the time. And in fact, some people don't realize that on snowy days, that's when you have the most UV exposure, because you're having a lot of reflection from the ground. And even in partial shade, sometimes you can have more UV exposure than you think, because you're having a lot of those UV rays bounce off of those leaves and shadows and areas where they are reaching your face in a way that you don't see, because you're not seeing the sunlight on your face. Those UV rays are still around. They are bouncing around right up against your skin. So definitely make sure that you use a sunscreen every single day. Now I will tell you, the thing about sunscreen is that some people think that all sunscreens are created equal, and nothing could be further from the truth. Facial sunscreens are formulated much, much better than they used to be even 5 years ago. And I promise you, you can find a sunscreen that works for you no matter what skin color you have. Like obviously I have tanner skin, and so I do hesitate with thicker sunscreens that leave a white cast. So the ones I review here, I will be totally frank and upfront with you about which ones I found to be a little bit too sticky or tacky or thick, or that leave too much of a white cast. This one doesn't do either. This one I really, really like. Basic Sunscreen 101, there are two classes of sunscreens. There's physical sunscreens and there are chemical sunscreens. Now the physical sunscreens create an actual physical shield on your face. They are mainly using the ingredients zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. They're the ones that have been guilty in the past of giving a white cast. However, newer formulations really do micronize the zinc oxide down and the titanium dioxide, and you get a much better finish with it, even if you have darker skin. There's also chemical sunscreens, which involve a whole array of ingredients, including avobenzone and octicrylate and octinoxate, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes I like European or Asian sunscreens better because I feel like they have a better protective barrier than a lot of the US approved chemical ingredients do for sunscreen. That being neither here nor there, there's great options here as well. You can have mixed sunscreens as well, which incorporate chemical and physical ingredients to create that sun shield barrier. Whatever you find is up to you. I really recommend that you try out a few different types to see whether it works for you. A lot of times people will put on sunscreen and say, oh, this is too oily, I could never get through the day like this. But if you wait like 15 to 20 minutes, you'll find that it dries down to a matte finish. Some people try to put on makeup right after sunscreen and they find that it doesn't work out well, and so they never use sunscreen. You need to give it a chance to dry down before you apply makeup. I don't wear makeup, but this is what I hear from dermatologists. The other point I'd make about sunscreens is that a lot of my friends will say things like, oh, but I use a foundation and it's SPF 30 and so I don't have to worry. Let me be really 100% clear here. You will not get enough SPF protection from any kind of BB cream, CC cream, sunscreen. That is not enough because you're not layering on a teaspoon of BB cream or CC cream or foundation on your face, hopefully. You really do need to put on way more sunscreen than you think on your face and then just let it all dry down. For about 20 minutes after I put sunscreen on, I'm just getting changed and hanging out with the kids and it's all good because for that amount of time, my face looks super, super shiny usually, no matter what. And then it just mattifies down and it's fine for the rest of the day. I know I'm going on and on about this, but I really do believe in sunscreen, you guys. You should all be using it. It is the #1 thing you can do to prevent discoloration, lines, wrinkles, just any kind of sign of visible aging on your skin. And it is protective against skin cancer, which is perhaps the most important thing that it does for you. So, to get back to the actual product review, La Roche-Posay's TOLURIANE Double Repair Moisturizer UV Broad Spectrum SPF 30 is a chemical sunscreen using avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate, octocrylene, and it's a good sunscreen. I find it to go on really easily. It mattifies down within 10 or 15 minutes and it doesn't cause any irritation to my sensitive skin, so it's a win for me. Staying in the moisturizer arena, another product that I tried this month was by The Ordinary. It is their natural moisturizing factors and hyaluronic acid surface hydration formula. The Ordinary is a company that's gotten a lot of hype recently because they basically focus on the main ingredients and don't shell out money for fancy packaging or crazy fruit extract ingredients or anything like that. And they try to stay true to individual ingredients in each of their products. Because of this, they are at a very low price point. I can't remember what this cost, but I'm gonna say it was less than $10. I got it from Sephora. I was really unimpressed with this, you guys. I was. Like journals, I think that skincare has a lot to do with what it feels like. You need to find the ones that feel so good that you will keep using them. This didn't feel good to me. I don't know whether it's because of cost-cutting measures in terms of micronizing the ingredients or creating a final formulation that's smooth and spreadable. I don't know what it was, but I was unimpressed. I'm sure that the ingredients are good in here. I didn't like using it. So really within a couple days, I started using it just on my hands, which is my go-to for anything that I don't like for my face. Instead of wasting the product, I generally just start using them on my hands because as we all know, our hands are one of the fastest things to age on us. And if you see a woman who's had a lot of work done on her face, you can always look at her hands and see like how old she really is. So that's my tip to you. If you don't like a facial product, just start using it on your hands and it should be fine. At nighttime, after my hyaluronic acid and everything in general, I use this cream, which I have loved. This is by the Drunk Elephant. It is their PROTINI polypeptide cream, and I really, really like it. It has been super hydrating, moisturizing. I haven't had any of my typical fall, winter dryness this season, and I am on my second bottle of this. Just to show you the dispenser, you guys, they have a really ingenious way of dispensing the cream. You depress the center area and just one dose is sort of like dispensed on the top and you just wipe it off. It keeps the cream pretty airtight and, you know, it doesn't get contaminated by your fingers. Basically, it says that it has signal peptides, growth factors, supportive amino acids, and pygmy water lily for visible and immediate improvement in the appearance of skin's tone, texture, and firmness. I always laugh when people say things like immediate improvement because you could put Nivea on your face or whatever and you'll have immediate improvement in your skin's texture and stuff like that. So a lot of these marketing terms are things you should completely ignore. For example, whenever you see like dermatologist recommended or dermatologist approved, that is a pure marketing term. I am sure they employ a dermatologist who has signed off on it. Like, okay, this is not going to hurt anyone. But yeah, it's not crazy. So You can actually disassemble this bottle, by the way. You can unscrew it and then unscrew the top and then get the very last dredges. But basically, the way the bottle is manufactured, the cream keeps rising to the surface with every single pump. And I just think it's an ingenious way of dispensing a cream. It does take up a lot of plastic, however, so I don't know how I feel about that. But either way, I like Drunk Elephant products. I'm not a huge fan of their vitamin C serum, if I've mentioned that before, but I really like this PROTINI night cream. I think it's super rich and hydrating, and again, non-irritating to sensitive skin. After a nighttime moisturizer, I generally follow up with my holy grail item, which is also by the Drunk Elephant, and it is their Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. I have also heard really good things about the Marula oil made by The Ordinary, and I plan on trying that soon. One bottle will last me about 4 months. It is a very light oil, so I saved a drop just to show you. And it comes down, and it's a really dry oil. The dropper is actually really beautiful in and of itself. It has this little 1-drop technology here, so you don't get like way more than you need. 3 drops a night is all I ever really use, and it just has the perfect consistency for locking in that moisture. It's that final step for me where it just locks it in. If I ever use any ingredients that are a little bit irritating to my skin, for example, any kind of retinoid or any kind of alpha hydroxy acid or beta hydroxy acid, I always follow up with just a little smushing of Marula oil, and it really does cut down on the irritation for my skin. Another one of my empties is for the face as well. It is a cleanser, and I am not about expensive cleansers, you guys. I will never pay more than like 15 bucks for a cleanser because it's on your face for such a short amount of time. It is not the place to spend your money. However, I really like double cleansing. I like to cleanse off my eye makeup with an oily cleanser and also my sunscreen, because although I don't wear foundation or concealer or any of that, I do wear blush, I wear sunscreen, and I wear mascara pretty much every day. And I like to dissolve the eye makeup as well as all the sunscreen with an oil first before I go in with a gentle cleanser like the CERAVE hydrating facial cleanser or something like that. But this is by HADA LABO. I will link it down below. I obviously don't know what it's called because it is all in, I believe, Korean? I don't know, I'm guessing. It is a really, really nice, like olive oil based just cleanser. It takes off all your eye makeup, everything, all the layers of sunscreen with no issues whatsoever. It's a really soothing process. I massage it on my face for about a minute or so, rinse it off, and then use a really mild non-foaming cleanser afterwards. And my face feels really clean without being squeaky clean, which is really important. I do not get all the water off my face, and then I put on, everybody together, my hyaluronic acid cream, which locks in that moisture, and then I follow up with a little bit more moisture and then my oil layer. Another moisturizer, you guys, is this body cream. I'm going to call out Joy from Joy Filled Journey for this one because she is one of my real virtual friends, and she sent me a picture of this and was like making fun of it because of its name. It is Brazilian Bum Bum Cream, and I felt like saying like, hey, I have that. But I liked it. I didn't love it. It is ridiculously expensive. I bought it during one of the Sephora sales or when I had a coupon or something because I wanted to try it. It smells really, really nice, you guys. It does. It has a very, yeah, it still smells in there. I don't know why I'm holding this out to you. Like, you guys can smell it through the camera. It smells really nice. It has a very, I don't know, like exotic, attractive, sensual kind of smell. It doesn't smell like too much like coconut or too much like flowers. It has a very Brazilian smell. You know, you have a it's a good smell. Like, people will ask you like, oh, what does that smell like? What is that, you know, what do you smell like? So if you want a really nice fragrance in your moisturizer, I would definitely recommend this. It's really pricey. I can't see myself buying this that often, but I do like it. And I will give you a tip to make your moisturizers like this last longer and go further. When you take a dollop of a moisturizer like this, add like a dollop of either jojoba oil or almond oil or some other like natural oil to it and use that as your moisturizer. It'll make the moisturizer more effective, but it'll also let you use a whole lot less of this to achieve the same amazing smell. I liked it, but I don't think I'll be repurchasing it anytime soon. makeup empties. I don't have too many because I don't use that much makeup, but the first one is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It is one of my favorite mascaras, if not my favorite mascara. I've been using it for years now. So as you can see, the brush is super, super fluffy. It has this hourglass shape where it's bigger on the ends and thinner in the middle. And that helps you create that really big, nice whoosh of a lash. I have the shortest, stubbiest, straightest lashes you can imagine, so I need all the help I can get. But at the same time, like, I don't want so much that it hits my glasses because I'm a glasses wearer. And this one just about takes me to the tip where it hits my glasses, and then I just wipe it off my glasses. But I love it. I think it's a great mascara. It never causes any irritation. This was another mascara I finished off. This was by Tarte. It was called TARTEIST, and it has a really bristly wand. So as you can see, it has one of those plasticky, dangerous ones. Those plasticky bristles are just too dangerous for me to use. I don't know whether it's because I'm as blind as a bat or what the deal is, but I poke my eye out all the time with these and I just can't use them. I need those soft, old-fashioned mascara wands with the soft bristles, because anything with like an actual sharp plastic wand, I just poke myself and it's not good, because then you cry and then your mascara gets ruined and it's just a whole thing. But I like this mascara. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was nearly as good as Better Than Sex, so there's that. So my last empty is basically this Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil, which is a ride or die item for me. I try to keep one in my purse. I try to keep one in the car as well for those random days when you forget your eyebrows and you look in the rearview mirror and you're like, ah! So I like it. I definitely prefer their brow pomade because it lasts a whole lot longer, and if you get a little brush with that, it'll last you for like 1 or 2 years, you know, and it's a much better cost-wise investment. But this you can carry around in your purse. But because of that, because of my transport quality for this one, I have a bone to pick with Anastasia, whoever she might be, because the tips break off, the caps don't stay on, and the little spoolie brush in almost every single one of mine has broken off. The pencil end stays fine, but the spoolie brush breaks off, which makes me upset because the whole point was that I could do it in my purse. Other than that though, it's a great brow pencil. I have tried the NYX dupe for this, which looks very similar and has a thin pencil tip as well, but the formulation is not as good. It doesn't last as long, and the color is not as true either. Let me know if you have any good recommendations though, because I need one where the spoolie doesn't break off, you guys. And those are my product empties for the month. I hope you have enjoyed them. If you like these videos, please let me know in the comments down below. And again, I need an eyebrow pencil that doesn't have spoolies that break off, and I would love any body moisturizer recommendations that you guys have. I'm always switching that up. I don't have any brand that I'm loyal to, and I haven't really found a body moisturizer where I'm like, wow, this is an amazing, amazing product. So if you have a recommendation for that, definitely let me know. As always, you guys, I wish you the very best day, and thank you so much for giving me your time.